G'day, everyone. I've come on early just for Dean Beck. He said, do a poll, Buck, and see if you should come on early. How are you, everyone? Hope you're well. Hope you can hear me and see me okay. Hope the volume's going. I'll just... Oh, no, that volume knob makes any difference. He ain't here yet. Who's you talking about? Jeffrey Keane. Who are you talking about there? Lynn Rogers, Margie Lavelle, he's on. Timmy Ryan, Lorna McMillan's out camping. Hope you're having fun out there. Must have reception at the moment. Debbie Mawert saying g'day to Lorna. Nathan Bridgeland, g'day. Nathan, how are you, mate? I'll do a few shout-outs here, everyone. Carol Douglas, g'day, Carol. How are you? The Diddly Donk from Mackay is on, everyone. He used to be the Diddly Donk from Serena. Kane Higgins. G'day, Kane. How are you? Hope you're well. Hope you're behaving yourself. Carol Douglas saying g'day to everyone. Paulie Martin's on. G'day, mate. How are you? Gee, what a game the other night, mate. Manly went down. Only just, but, mate, that was a good game of footy. Andy Riches is working, everyone. Andy's at work over in the, or up in the mother country. Hope you're well, Andy. Don't get caught watching Mr. Buckaroony at work, mate. Don't want you to get into the shit. So anyway, I won't do any, mate. Wixie, g'day, mate. Carol's good. That's good stuff. Jeffrey Keane in Toowoomba. Talk about the flood soon, Jeff. Hopefully Toowoomba's getting no floods there, mate. But Chinchilla is. We'll talk about the flood soon, everyone, because there's a couple of bad floods going on here in Queensland. Steve W.'s on up in the mother country too. G'day, Steve. Morning, Buck. And g'day from the mother country. 5v5 up in the UK, everyone, which is up in Ascot. Fantastic, Steve. Hope you're well, mate. Hope everything's good going up there. Yeah, Ivan and Lisa, good morning from a wet Bundaberg. You're not wrong. I just saw Bundaberg on the news. We'll talk about the floods very shortly, everyone. That's my first subject to talk about. I've got a bit of an update from Phil the Maniac, but I haven't heard from Roger and Maria Bartolo. Everyone, I just read someone's name as their name was about to come in my head and it threw me off. Doesn't take much to throw my brain off anymore. And Maria Bartolo, if you are on tonight, they've got Cafe 1928 in Bundaberg, everyone, in the Botanical Gardens there. So let's hope Maria and Roger's Cafe 1928 is okay and not flooded. If anyone can give me an update on that, please. If anybody knows about Cafe 1928, Phil the Maniac, if you come on. Good news is the Bundaberg factory. The Bundy Rum factory is surrounded by water, but not under, everyone. That is good news. The Bundy factory's okay. Lukey Reed's on down in Tassie. G'day, Lukey. How are you, mate? The Beaver's on, everyone. Jacqueline Dixon from Innisfail. Good to see you on, Jacqueline. Haven't seen you on for a while. The Beaver, everyone's on. Hope you're going good. And Mum, haven't seen your mum downtown for a while. Mind you, I don't go downtown much anymore. 2010 levels in Bundy. Yeah, I don't know if it got quite to that, Aussie. Aussie's on, everyone. Now, he's 1 minute he's Aussie and then the next minute he's Sid and Archie. I don't know. Jacqueline and Mum are going good. That's good to hear, everyone. Jamie Fulton saying g'day to Marky Lavelle. Let's get on to the floods, everyone. Bundaberg's a mess. Bundaberg is an absolute mess. Boy, oh boy, the floods were bad. I sent Phil the Maniac a message this morning, everyone. Said, Phil, you and your mum okay? And Phil said, yeah, we're okay, Buck. We're on high ground. We're in the higher part of Bundy. But boy, oh boy, isn't there going to be some clean up there? Showed the Mitre 10 hardware and everything all under. Oh, and then you feel sorry for them, because you know that after the cleanup happens, their insurance premiums go up. It happens all the time. Those poor buggers there, anyone who puts an insurance claim in, you can guarantee that next time you get your insurance premiums, they will go up, because after Cyclone Yasi here in 2011, it didn't matter whether you put a claim in or not. If you were in the impact zone of Cyclone Yasi, our insurances, I was with RACQ at the time, literally doubled. And now I'm talking back 2011. I think my insurance premiums back then, I still remember the figures, 170 a month to insure my house, our house. And I got the new monthly thing come through, 340. And I rang them up, RACQ. I said, "Oh, have you put my contents and and car insurance all in? Have you bundled them all together? Have you?" What a dummy I was. How naive was I? Thinking at that stage everything was through RACQ. My car insurance, my house and contents insurance was all through RACQ because you get a discount if you bundle it up and everything. I thought, they've just put it into one thing. No, they literally doubled it from 170 to $340 as soon as the cyclone was over. Arseholes. And I didn't put in a lot of claims. I think I'd put it some downpipes, and you claim your $400 for all the stuff you lose in your freezers and that, because we were without power for a couple of weeks. So you're allowed to claim $400 for all your food spoilage and that. And I had a couple of downpipes get damaged, and all the fly screens, everyone. All my fly screens needed replacing because bits of wood and twigs, it looked like a machine gun had hit all the gauze on the windows. So, which is on the outside of the window there. So all the gauze were trashed from twigs off trees and that. It was like little bullets hitting and it just shredded the bloody fly screen. So I got all them replaced, and they doubled my insurance premium. So, but people in Bundaberg, you're going to go through that as well. Mike Blakely's on in the USA. G'day, Mike, up in Colorado. Saying g'day to Mark and Lukey. Hope you're well, Mike. What's the time over there? I'm not doing weather reports and all that, everyone, tonight. Now, listen, before I go any further, we're going to be talking about some topics tonight. That's why I'm doing it a bit later on a Wednesday night. This isn't your family-friendly Sunday morning one, guys, with the weather report and all that. If there's any kids watching, we're going to talk about some subjects tonight that probably kids shouldn't be around. Gidgy Gorilla's on. G'day, Gidge. So, we're not going to... A few touchy subjects, and I'll probably be letting a few F-bombs go tonight, guys, just to express how deeply I feel about things. So this is an adult one. If there's kids watching, probably they shouldn't be watching, everyone. I won't put any C-bombs in, but I could be swearing tonight. So I don't like swearing in front of the kids. But I don't mind swearing, especially when I get riled up, and it could happen. It could happen. So Gidgy's on. Good to see you on, Gidge. We'll talk about the fuel in a minute. I was thinking about you today, mate, when I was filling up, and I bet Gidgy's real happy he's got a car that takes 98 ULP at the moment. What's 98 worth, Ken? We'll talk about fuel soon. So anyway, to everyone in Bundaberg, all the best, everyone. I hope you're okay. If you are flooded, hopefully got a lot of friends and family and community spirit will get in and clean Bundaberg up. It's a great little town, and they showed it on the news tonight. And we're going to talk about this tonight, everyone. Fucking Aussie spirit. We're losing it. And it's in times like this, in natural disasters, floods and cyclones and bushfires, that we need to stick together and become one, put our differences aside, and fucking get back to the way Aussies used to be, where we help our mates out when they're in trouble. And I pride myself on that, being probably as the most Australian you can get. Like, I'm just old school, guys. And every job I've been in, army, police, corrections, is a job where you relied on your mates and you supported your mates because our lives depended on it. And I'm fucking big on it. And we're losing that, everyone. Everyone's becoming so individual now and worrying about themselves. And I'm sure the cream will rise to the top in Bundaberg during the flood cleanups, and that community spirit will get in. We know what community spirit's like in this community when it comes to charity and everyone. We've still got it in this community, but there's a lot of Australians out there that are really lacking, and we'll go into it a bit more soon, okay? Especially when we get onto this Iranian soccer team. Now, another town that's in trouble, I heard, and I was only talking about them the other day, is the Tyro Butcher on just south of Maryborough there, which isn't too far south of Bundaberg, I guess, but maybe hour and a half's drive south of Bundy. Tyro, everyone, a little town you go through, and it's got the what's it called? That little cafe, the little antique cafe there where you get your coffees, and it's got the Skippy plate and everything there. It's got an 80-litre tank. Someone asked Ken about his Raptor. No, 80 litre on the Raptor, apparently, Ken's saying. So Tyro, they reckon's on flood alert, but the town that is in trouble is on the Western Darling Downs, and that's why I asked Jeff Keane how Toowoomba was going. Chinchilla, everyone. Chinchilla's flooding badly as we speak, and it's going to get worse overnight. So anyone out in Chinchilla or in that area, I hope you're okay. There's a couple of backpackers missing around the Kilkeevan area. Their family hasn't heard from them. So let's hope they're safe and sound. Just because they're missing doesn't mean they've been washed away in the floods or whatever. Their family, they might be just in an area that's got no comms or whatever. So those two backpackers around the Kilkeevan area, which is in the flood zone apparently. Kilkeevan's inland from Tyro. That's where Roz and I went. You head inland there to go down to Toowoomba, Kilkeevan, Gameri, Nanango, those types of towns. So Kilkeevan's in the flood zone. Toowoomba's fine, Jeff's saying there. That's good. Last time I heard of Toowoomba flooding was those Lockyer Valley floods, mate. And I didn't know Toowoomba could flood because it's up so high, but it bloody did. It was terrible, and there was lives lost as well. So, so everyone in Bundy, all the best. If Roger or Maria, anyone sees them on tonight, let me know so we can ask them how their cafe is. Let's hope Cafe 1928 is okay in Bundy. Phil the Maniac and his mum are okay, everyone. I've checked in on Phil. And if anyone's out around the Chinchilla area, stay safe. So our thoughts are with you guys. And as I said, during the cleanup, Aussie spirit. That's what we need. Get in, help your neighbours, help your mates, help your family, and get in and work as a team and get things cleaned up and get back on track again and get back into it. Yeah, Chinchilla, I was just saying that, Bella Jess. I was just saying Chinchilla's under. And it's going to get worse overnight. It hasn't peaked in Chinchilla yet. So a nice little town out there, a little town you don't often hear about, eh? And they're not on a river either. They're on a creek, and the creek is swollen badly and flooded the whole town. They're not on a main river or anything, Chinchilla, that I'm aware of. There's a creek running through there, and it's flooded badly. Ray Newman, best of luck to all the people in the flood zone. Absolutely, Ray, yes. Tyler, g'day, Tyler. Tyler Haas down in Tassie. Australia will be in strife if they don't get some fuel sorted. Yeah, we're going to talk about that, Tyler, soon. We're going to get right into the fuel situation, mate. Get some Black Hawks in there to help out. Yeah, what have we got? 6 at the moment? Yeah, supposed to be getting 39. I don't know how many we got. We've got about 6 at the moment, haven't we? Maybe, or 12. And they're all kitted out for the special forces down in bloody in Sydney, Gidge. I don't think we've got a lot of flood type ones available at the moment. Does anyone know? No, we'll talk about that, can't Dave? Anyone know any more info about Albo selling off our US fuel stocks and reserves in 2022? No, I do not know that, Dave, but I'm going to talk about US fuel stocks. I've got that written down, mate. I had to Google that this afternoon. We'll talk about that soon, eh? Yeah, Lynn, exactly right. You've copped it there around Ingham. It's been I said to Roz this morning, I said this summer it's been a shocker for Northern Territory, West Aussie, Queensland. We've got belted, no touch wood, no big cat 3s, 4s and 5s yet, but my God, haven't we had some rain? It's just endless. And as I said, it comes over North Queensland, and then this was what come over North Queensland, that tropical low that apparently came over Innisfail. I got out and mowed my lawn. I don't know where the rain went, but the rain found itself and it's dumped itself on Bundaberg. I'm pretty sure that's probably the same system that came over that tropical low 29U was its designation. It didn't form into a cyclone, thank goodness. Yeah. Oakie's got some Black Hawks now, have they? Oh, that's good. Okay. Well, let's hope that the Black Hawk helicopter's out in Oakey. That's a bloody 10-minute flight to Chinchilla for them. So hopefully they're available and on standby to help Chinchilla out if need be. And that's another thing I'm big on. A lot of people go, oh, the Australian Defence Force isn't there for natural disasters. Bullshit. If we've got the assets there available, we bloody use them. It's taxpayers' money. Federal, all our taxes go in towards defence. And I'll tell you now, after Cyclone Larry and Cyclone Yasi hit up here, it was good to see the army coming in and knowing that the bloody Black Hawks were on standby, or the MRH-90, might have been MRH-90 back then. They were all on standby to bring water in and all that type of stuff. And that's what I mean, Aussie spirit. And I know the defence boys, they don't mind getting in there after and helping a town out after a natural disaster. The defence people, they love doing it. That's what they're there for. Yeah, preparing for war is one of their things, but if you're not at war and you can get in and help your own country out, then I'm all for it. Tommy Oliver's on. G'day, Tom. How are you, mate? Yeah, so that's it for the floods. Let's hope everyone's okay from the floods, and we'll talk later down the track. I just watch the insurance companies bend you over and give you the rough end of the pineapple after this, guys. They don't miss you, those arseholes. They're another pack of germs that I don't like. Insurance companies. Bastards. They don't mind taking your money every month, but when it comes to coughing up after a natural disaster, they put you through the ringer, the bastards. They really do, and really make you work for it, don't they? I've been through it a couple of times. How often do we hear it? People losing their houses and that, and then the insurance company tries to find a way out. Lauren and Buzzy at the moment with their Hyundai, Hyundai car having engine problems. It's a well-known fact, and there's a class action against it. And because they were like 1,000 kilometres late getting their service done, because Lauren was in bloody hospital getting an operation done, they're trying to wipe their hands. They're up for a new engine in their car. It's still under warranty. And Tucson, the Hyundai Tucson. So it's a well-known problem in America with oil problems with those vehicles. And now they're trying to weasel their way out of giving Lauren and Buzzy a new engine because they're 1,000 kilometres late getting their service done. What a load of shit. Being 1,000 k's late for a service doesn't make your engine start chewing massive amounts of oil and running out of oil. That's what I mean. If they can get out of it, they will, and it pisses me off. That's what pisses Buck off tonight. Insurance companies trying to weasel their way out of a claim that they're good for, everyone. Trying to, oh no, that wasn't caused, that wasn't natural, that was a flood, or like just trying to change the wording so they can get out of it. It's absolute bullshit. Hey, something I did the other day, and I didn't really feel good about doing it. I got a phone call the other day about donating money. Hello, and it was an Aussie lad on the phone. Hey mate, won't take up much of your time, but we're raising funds for the Rural Fire Service. And I'm all pro Rural Fire Service. We've got a couple of people in the community, Brad Howell and Jason Slade, are part of the RFS, everyone. And we talk about the RFS. They're wanting donations. And I said, mate, sorry, can't help you out this time. I said, I only help animals out. And he said, all right, mate. You could tell he was pissed off with me. I said, sorry, bud, can't help you. And I felt bad saying that to the RFS. Like, we know they do a wonderful job. And I thought, you know what? I'm fucking sick and tired of giving my money out to things that should be supported by our fucking government, everyone. Why are the RFS asking for people's donations so they can keep going out and fighting fires? Fucking bullshit. It should be fully funded by the friggin' state and federal governments. That if there's one thing where we want our tax money going, it's to the Rural Fire Service. Okay, that's one of the many. How about the 50 million we just gave the Taliban in Afghanistan? Maybe that 50 million could have gone to the fucking RFS instead of ringing up Aussies who are doing it tough enough with money at the moment anyway, and asking them for donations so people can go out and get the equipment to fight fucking bushfires. It's bullshit, everyone. I love the RFS. They do a fantastic job. I felt bad saying no, but I thought, no, this is bullshit. this is something that needs to be funded by the government. And I stand by that. What do you reckon, everyone? I might put a poll up. Now, the Iranian, did Australia make the right call on the Iranian soccer team, given those players asylum? 69 yes, 31 no. End the poll. We'll talk about that soon. I'm going to get a bit riled up on that one too. Where's start a poll? I just typed that in the comment instead of a poll, everyone. Unbelievable. So that's the end of that poll. I've got to start another one. I just typed that in the comments. Start a poll. Friggin' idiot, Buck. Two L's. Righto. Start a poll. Sorry about that. I typed it in the comments instead of actually clicking start a poll. Should the Rural Fire Service be fully funded by both federal and state governments and everyone? And I mean, I'll go one step further, all their equipment, their stations, everything. I personally think when someone volunteers for rural fire service duties, I'll use that as an example, you should get automatic deduction on your tax, an extra 10%. If you've got to pay 39 cents in the dollar, you only pay 29 cents in the dollar because you're a fucking a volunteer rural fire. Brad Howell and Jason Slade should get a big discount on their tax. They should be able to claim it and say, yes, I'm a volunteer firefighter in the RFS. You've got to have proof that you do it, obviously, and that enables you for an extra 10% deduction of tax or whatever. I honestly think that. I'd love to be able to pay all our volunteers. I don't think that's probably viable in this current climate, but certainly give them a tax deduction, give them a bloody break. If you go out and volunteer to do anything that contributes to this country, RFS is the big one, okay, and state emergency service, things like that, those people should get automatic big discounts on their at tax return time. Okay, they shouldn't have to pay 39 in the dollar or whatever it may be. It's 29. Give them a bloody break there. But people ringing up and asking citizens to donate so the RFS can go out and donate fires, that doesn't sit well with me, everyone. I love the RFS. They do a fantastic job. But why should I have to support it when our fucking mongrel politicians should be doing it? Okay, out of our tax money. Start using our tax money more wisely. Stop friggin' giving it away to all these shithead countries overseas that don't like us in the first place. I don't mind helping certain countries out, especially our little South Pacific neighbours and that. I'm all for helping them. But there's certain countries we're giving money to that we shouldn't be, everyone. There's a lot of them. And one of them's Afghanistan. Okay? We shouldn't be giving them a friggin' cent. Redirect that into the RFS and start boosting it up. Start getting smarter with our tax money to the whatever government is in on the day. Get smarter with our tax money and stop fucking wasting it on shit and spend it. It's like Buck Rogers. Instead of doing renovations to his house, he goes to the King store all the time and spends his money at the King store instead of spending it on shit he should be spending it on. That's what the government's doing with our tax money, everyone. They're wasting it on shit. Start directing it into the RFS, and I'll use them as an example. So I felt bad saying no the other day, everyone. But I thought, fuck them. That's the government's job, not mine, to keep those guys out fighting fires. What do you reckon, everyone? 96%. 96% of you reckon, yeah, it should be fully government funded. And that's what I was saying. What pisses me off down in Victoria this year with the bad bushfires down there, the RFS was saying that they don't have the equipment to get out and fight the fires properly. What's the government doing? start funding our rural fire service correctly so that when there is big bushfires on, they can get out and do their job. The only reason they bloody were struggling is because they were saying they didn't have the equipment to get out and do the job. That old vehicles were breaking down, and that's bullshit. Should be like our, like the fireys here, every day during the week, 4 fireys, the red fire truck comes into the PCYC, 4 fireys get out, and they go in and have an hour and a half workout in the gym on taxpayers' money. And they're getting fully paid. They're getting fully paid. The bloody red fire truck parked outside is fully funded by the Queensland government. They're getting paid probably close to $100,000 a year each, and they're working out at the gym, and they're ringing up for the RFS, asking people like me for donations over the phone. That's fucking not on, as far as I'm concerned. It's absolute bullshit. And it needs to be federal and state. I think get together and sort it out. That needs to be bloody. And I still think that's a great idea about people volunteering, get a big discount at tax time. That's your reward. We can't pay you, but what we will do is we'll put more money in your pocket by taxing you less, because you're bloody going above and beyond and you're volunteering for this country, whether it's state emergency, rural fire. If anyone else can think of some air sea rescue and Coast Guard, all those organisations that go towards protecting Aussies' lives, they all need a bloody tax break. Nathan Schilling, be careful tonight. Blood pressure. No, I'll be right, mate. All good. Yeah, I know, Lynn. Government's priorities are in the wrong place. They are in the wrong place. And just get some common sense about it and just sit back and go, if your bank account's all over the place, guys, and you're leaking money, you've got to sit back at times and go through your bank statement and go, that wasn't required. Start tightening your belt on areas that you didn't really need to spend that money and direct it into other things. That's what the government's got to do sometimes. But it just seems like they don't give a shit because it's not their money. It's our tax money, and they're spending like drunken sailors. Use our tax money by all means, but use it in the right places. Okay? They waste too much. We all know that. Billions of dollars each year get friggin' wasted. Someone was going through in Parliament the other day, and we're talking the smallest sum was $500,000. It was, and I can't remember what they are, but some of them, he goes, 1.3 million to this, 500,000 to this, 1.2 million to this. And it was, you couldn't make this shit up, everyone. It was absolutely ridiculous that where they're given $1.3 million for research into a 3-toed bloody ant somewhere. Like, it was just, you just go, come on. It's got to be a piss take, but fair income. We're just wasting money on garbage. That money needs to be speared into more important areas, okay? They're just really letting us down. Gidgy saying, I wrote an official email to Spotlight to see if they help out mum with some wool for Hope in a suitcase, basically, and told no, fuck off. Yeah, fucking, yeah, there you go. So Gidgy's gone to a, written a letter, I didn't know that, written a letter to Spotlight. As you know, our mum sits there and crochets rugs, and all the little rugs go towards Hope in a suitcase for foster kids. And they put a little rug in each suitcase that goes out with a foster kid. So Gidgy thought, Spotlight might want to get in on this and, 20 balls of wool a week or a fortnight isn't a big thing for Spotlight, big company all around Australia, and they weren't interested. Nah, that's bullshit, Gidgy. Anyway, we'll still bloody, we got a bloody cheap shop here in town. I always buy mum some wool every time I go down. I grab 20 balls of wool for mum, and me and Gidgy keep her in stock. But yeah, anyway, who do we vote for poll Buck? Should Buck be Andy Pandy? Should Buck be PM? If I was the Prime Minister, or even say the Premier of Queensland even. No, we'll go Prime Minister, go the big one. You'd sit back, you'd get all the so-called fucking experts around you, and you just go, righto, guys, my first thing would be, what's our financial situation? And we all know that Australia at the moment is fucked. We're $1 trillion in the red. So we need, so that our grandkids and great-grandkids aren't paying this debt off as they're growing up, we need to sit back as the Prime Minister and go, righto, where's our money going? Oh, yeah, we just gave 50 million to, well, guess what? Next year, that 50 million ain't going to Afghanistan. It's staying in the pot, and we'll work out where that goes. Okay? 1.2 billion to this, that's bullshit. That ain't going nowhere. $500,000 to, so some bloody left-wing group can do a study into this. Piss off. Is that contributing to the country? No, it's not. I reckon I could save billions of dollars. Billions of dollars. You won't be saving $1 trillion. That's a lot of money, isn't it? But how did we get there? How did and I'm not just blaming the current government, everyone. This shit's been going on for 20 years to get us. When Howard and Costello got voted out, everyone, who took over from them? Keating, wasn't it? Paul Keating took over from Howard, I think. We were in the surplus back then in Howard's days. I know circumstances might have been a bit different as well. They had us in a surplus. And here we are now, $1 trillion in the hole, thanks to all the fucking retards that have run this country since Howard left. Howard was certainly not perfect by any means, everyone. But we've had some duds, haven't we? We've had some absolute duds on both sides of the fence, LNP and Labor, and they've let us down. They're friggin' hopeless. Anyway, that's not even my rant yet, everyone. Now, listen, let's get on to the Iranian soccer team, everyone. Now, I was a bit disappointed in that poll. 69% of you said that they made the right call, and 31% said no. What brought this on is there was a post on Facebook today, and Albo was up there, and you all know me, everyone. I'm not an Albo fan. I don't like the Labor government. I always call things as I see it. I'm not the fuck with, and everything he does is the type of person. I call it as I see it. If someone who I like does something stupid, I call it out. Now, that Iranian soccer team came out here as part of the female Asian Cup, and they just happened to be playing some games here against Australia and South Korea. In their game against, was it Australia or their first game, they didn't sing the national anthem. Now, you're probably thinking that's not a big deal. If you're Australian or American or a POM or a New Zealander, you don't sing the national anthem. It's not such a big deal. We kind of go, oh, I didn't even bother singing the national anthem. But that's as far as it goes. Well, to them, there's just such a bloody shit country and run by a pack of arseholes that was seen on state TV over there in Iran. And apparently, you all seen the news, apparently when they return to Iran, that there's possibility they're facing the death penalty for not singing the national anthem. Can you believe that shit? That just shows how that country's ruled at the moment by the Ayatollahs. It's not good, is it? Who'd want to live in a country like that? Maybe they should have just sung the national anthem and just begrudgingly sung it, even though they didn't agree with what their government's doing, the Ayatollahs and that. They probably should have done it. The second one, when they got called out and said, when you girls get home, you fuck, we're going to execute you, or whatever they were saying, then they all saluted and sang in the second game. Too late. They didn't do it in the first one. So the fear was that they're going to go home and possibly face the death penalty. I know it's hard to friggin' comprehend that you can get the death penalty for not singing your national anthem. But apparently that's what could have been. Buffering. Sorry, mate. That's because you didn't pay your electricity bill, Landy. Anyone else buffering? Oh, no. Oh, yeah. As soon as I say certain things, I start buffering. Anyway, Talking about going to the gym at work time. Yeah, I'll just I don't know if I'm a conspiracy theorist, but every time you touch on certain subjects, things go wrong. Buffering on buck. All right. All good. Yeah, I'm just wondering if the buffering's caused by not the internet, by you know who, someone listening in. Happens to Kaz all the time. He goes on to a certain topic, everyone, and they start getting bloody white noise over the top of his thing. Yeah, all good now. Yeah, righto. Maybe I said a couple of magic words that YouTube didn't like, eh? As you know, it's all run by AI now and certain catchwords and that. And if you do anything wrong, like hold a bang stick up on a live feed, you get blocked straight away. You just get shut down. So, yeah, buffering started with that subject. Yeah, well, there you go, everyone. I've got to be careful what I talk about. It wasn't until I went on that very subject, wasn't it? And it started buffering. Yeah. Anyway, this is where I'll tell you where I stand, everyone. No, I'm pro-immigration. I think we need to slow it right down so we can catch up. And I don't agree with people coming in the back door. And we've got to be careful who we do let in here. These ones here were, they weren't, you know what, they were just, and even Donald Duck got involved, didn't he? The big orange fella got involved and said, if you don't take them, we will. Even the big orange fella, I've got to be careful saying his name too, because they can get a bit funny with it. The big orange fella. So he got on Albanese and said, oh, no, Australia's changed their mind, because I think our government at the time was all over it. And I think that they were in the process of offering asylum to thing. 5 of them took it, applied for it, and got it. Another 2 today applied and got it. And apparently one of the girls tonight has changed their mind and now wants to go home. Was she pressured? Or did she get a phone call saying, if you don't come home, your family's gone? I don't know. Who knows what goes on behind the scenes? But you know it's bad when they were boarding the plane today or yesterday, whenever it was, and going through immigration. They were taken into a separate room when they got to immigration before they entered the airport, and without their bloody Republican Guard minders, so they're babysitted by the baddies. They were taken into an interview room and said, this is your last chance. Do you want to apply to stay? And apparently 2 of them said yes, right at the last minute. They know if they go back home, or if they don't go home, what's going to happen to their families over there? The ones that stay behind, are their families being arrested as we speak? Who knows what's happening? What a shit situation for those people to be in, just because they didn't sing a national anthem. It's disgusting, isn't it? It's disgusting. Now, this is where I'm coming from. In the comment section today, when Albo came out and also Tony Burke and whatever, some of the comments I found fucking disgusting. That Australians, we've got so fucking low in the gutter now that we don't care about our fellow human beings. Like, I pride myself on helping people out. And I know I'll give you an example. When we went over to East Timor in 1999, guys, they'd been getting murdered and slaughtered and whatever by the Indonesian-backed militia before we got in there. Women getting raped, kids, families getting murdered. And when we came in there, in effect, mainly Aussies and Kiwis and the Poms and that, they were so glad to see us because they knew that they were safe. The women and kids knew that when there was an Aussie soldier near them, they were safe. because we wouldn't take any shit off any of the baddies if they were still around. All right. And that they knew when they saw a bloody interfet soldier, usually an Aussie, we were the main ones over there, that they were safe. And I took a lot of pride in that. And you go down towards the border and thank you, Interfet, and thank you, Australia, and thank you, New Zealand, and this written on walls down near the border because they were so happy to see us come in there. And we took a lot of pride in that, is going in and helping out people who had been subjected to 20 years or whatever it was of bloody horrible bloody rule by our friends to the north, okay? It was bloody horrible when we went in. They burnt the whole country to the ground, everyone. So when we went in there, we were like the saviours, and they were just so glad to see us. They'd wave and smile at us, and it felt good being an Aussie, knowing that you're going in there making a difference. Now, I think we should pride ourselves on, Australians have always prided ourselves on being good people and helping out others when they need it. And that is, if someone says, define an Australian, I'll just go being a good person and fucking helping out your mates. That is just what we're all about. Well, what we used to be about anyway. But the amount of people now that just go, who cares about those players? Let them go home and get executed. Like fucking, if I was the Prime Minister, and I'm going to give Albo and Tony Burke and Penny Wong credit where credit's due here. I thought they did a good job on this, everyone. And you know, I'm not a Labor person by any means. Okay, I thought they did well. Fucked, if I was the Prime Minister, there is no fucking way in the world I would have sat back and let them all get on the plane, knowing they were going to go home and get executed for not singing the national anthem. No way in the world. No friggin' way in the world would I let that happen. Now, you can't go and kidnap them all and make them stay here. Some of them probably return back home under duress. I've no doubt that happened. And I hope that, now, they're not here. They're not getting permanent residency straight up, everyone. People thinking that, oh, they just come here and don't sing anything and they get Australian citizenship. No, they don't. They've been given a special bloody visa for 12 months to see what happens. Maybe in 12 months' time, it might be safe for them to go back home again. Let's hope it is. Let's hope in 12 months, when all this shit settles, that country becomes a decent country again, starts contributing towards planet Earth, and then those girls can go back home to their families if their families are still alive. Let's hope that that's the case. And the fact that we kept them alive and we gave them a safe place to be, you know, we didn't just let them stay at a motel and that. They were actually taken away and hidden because of the types of people that were there babysitting them. They actually had, the federal police had to actually take them and take them to a safe house to make sure they were safe. That's how fucked up this situation is, everyone. And some of the leaders over there in that country were on the news tonight saying that Australia's kidnapped their players and not letting them come home. Bullshit. So I think they made the right call. I think that we needed to step in and offer them. We can't make them stay, and a lot of them didn't. I think a lot of them went home under duress, probably thinking, if I don't go home, they're going to kill my family type thing. But there's no way, if I was the PM, if I was Albo or Tony Burke, I would have been sitting back going, who cares? Good luck, girls, when you get home. Who cares if you get killed? How do you live with that? You can't sleep at night knowing that maybe they went back home and were killed because you didn't step in and offer them some assistance. I think that's the fucking human right thing to do, and it's certainly the Australian thing to do. If you disagree with me, guys, put it up there. I'll argue with you about it. But there's no way, if I was Albo, I would have sat back and not intervened. And he did the right thing there. And it wasn't because the big orange fella told him to. I'm pretty sure you'll find that they just weren't making it public, that behind the scenes that they were doing things, okay? And I think they did a good job on that. I think they did a good job. And I always pride myself on fucking helping out people who need your help. Okay? There's some people that aren't as fortunate as us. And, you know, part of me wishes now, I know it's fucking a silly thing to say, but there's a little bit in me now that would love to see fucking missiles start falling on our cities here in Australia to give us a reality check, because all this shit going on around the rest of the world, and it's like we're down here untouched and we don't give a fuck about anyone else but ourselves. We're becoming very, very selfish. We're becoming a selfish nation, everyone. And we need a fucking wake-up call. And that wake-up call might be in the way of a war. And it maybe in the near future, it might fucking happen. And we might need someone to give us a hand. Let's hope not. And if it does, I bet we'll be glad to see probably the Yanks come over and help us out again, like they did in World War II, or would have been speaking fucking Japanese now. We got short memories. We needed help, and the Yanks came down and helped us. No way we would have kept the Japs out by ourselves. I don't care what anyone says. So don't forget that. We're Australian, everyone, and we fucking help out people less fortunate than ourselves where we can. Okay, and I'm not talking about opening the floodgates with immigration and all that. Don't take it out of context. I'm talking about these poor bloody people that come over to play a game of footy and friggin' go home facing the death penalty, if you can believe the news. It's not good. It's not good. So I think our government did the right thing there. I think they did a good job. I think Tony Burke, I think, you know, deep down, our elbow is probably a bit weak and all that, but I think deep down, he's a good human being. I think he's got a good heart on him. I think he's a kind man. And I think him and Tony Burke and even Penny Wong, who I despise, I thought they did an okay job on this. I really do. And I think we had to hold our hand out and say, do you need a hand? All right, someone's fucking boat sinking and you're in a boat that's floating. What do? You go over and you start pulling people out of the water. We're getting to the stage now where you just fucking drive past and go, shit boat, mate, and fucking keep going. All right? That's how we're getting now. We're becoming very, very selfish and fucking self-entitled and not looking after our mates. All about us. All about us. So, yeah, good luck to those ones that stayed behind. I hope their families are okay, and I hope they go on and have a happy life. Did you catch anyone else catch the YouTube video on NDIS fraud? No, I didn't, HSV. And that NDIS, mate, I'm all for NDIS, but I'll tell you what, it needs to be tightened up. That's another area that's got too many loose ends, and it needs to be fucking reined in real good, because I'm no doubt there's a lot of people taking the piss with that. It's just like an endless bloody pit. Minnie Mouse, Canada would come to our rescue. Well, we hope so. And the Poms and the Kiwis. You like to think that your mates will come and help you out when you need it. And as I said, guys, you know my background with work, 39 years of being in jobs where you fucking rely sometimes for your life on your mate, especially in the police and the prison game. You fucking bloke in the blue shirt beside you, you put your life in his hands or her hands. That's how serious it was. And that's why I'm so big on friggin' helping people out who are less fortunate than us. I think we're starting to lose that. We're starting to lose our Aussie spirit. I think we used to pride ourselves on that. Brad Howell and that, Gidgey, I'm sure you'll back me up on that. I know sometimes we've gone overseas and got involved in conflicts and that, and I think a lot of the times it's because we're trying to help out. Sometimes it's not the right call. But there's a time where you got to fucking man up and help out. And that's going to bring me on to my next subject, everyone. The Australian Defence Force sending defence assets to the United Arab Emirates. Now, this is another one where a lot of people are out there saying, fuck, what are we fucking helping them out for? Oh, we're getting involved in the Iran war and all this type of shit. I shouldn't have said that word. Buffering again now, are we? Shouldn't get involved in it. Shouldn't get involved. This is another one where I'm on the side of the Prime Minister and Richard Marles, the Defence Minister at the moment. Can you believe how many times I'm actually giving the Labor Party a plug at the moment? I think they're going all right. Right at this very moment, they're doing shit that I agree with, everyone. And if they do stuff that I agree with, I'm going to let them know. So what are we doing? We're sending an E7 wedge-tail surveillance plane to the United Arab Emirates. What is that going to do for all you people out there that don't really understand? That is a state-of-the-art plane with some of the most sophisticated radar in the world, and it can basically fly around in relatively safe airspace over there and can let people know when drones and aircraft and ships and boats and all that type of stuff. And it's basically eyes in the sky with using sophisticated radar. And we've been over there and helping Ukraine out, letting them know when there's incoming missiles and all that type of stuff. Why are we doing it with the United Arab Emirates? Because 23,000 Australians fucking live there, everyone. Are we going over and getting involved in that war offensively? No, we are not. What do they do? Why are we sending a wedge tail over there? And why are we providing the UAE with modern missiles, air-to-air missiles and all that type of stuff? To protect themselves, yes, and to protect 23,000 Australian expats that live over there. We're sending our defence over there to fucking protect Australians, everyone. I know the British are doing it as well. The United Arab Emirates is a massive Dubai and the other city that's in there, Abu Dhabi, part of the United Arab Emirates. Hundreds of thousands of Westerners live there now. A lot of people live over there. British, Australian, American. I follow an American fitness guy, lives in Dubai. Tanner Shuck, his name is. And I follow him. He lives over there. So that's why we go over there. There's a lot of people working over there. We're going over there to protect bloody Aussies that live over there. And people are going, we're getting involved in the war and that. No, we're not. Well, we are in a way, but we're going over there to protect lives, everyone, in a defensive thing. There's a big difference between we're not going over there lobbing bombs on that country that starts with I. We're going over there in a defensive, like putting surveillance plane up in the sky for early warning, which can save lives. And we're providing air-to-air missiles so that the United Arab Emirates can shoot down incoming missiles. So the missiles that we were going to get, they're now going to get redirected to the UAE, AIM-120s and stuff like that, okay? Surface-to-air and air-to-air missiles. We're giving some of ours to United Arab Emirates so they can protect themselves. That's what you do when people are on. They didn't go out looking for a war, but it came to them, okay? And there's a lot of Westerners living there. So should we get involved? Fucking oath we should, in a defensive posture. If it means sending defence assets over there, are those 85 personnel going to be in danger over there where they're going to be based? Probably. But that's what you sign the dotted line for when you sign up in the Australian Defence Force. You know that at some stage you may end up somewhere where your fucking life's going to be on the line. I've been there in East Timor. Okay, it could have been done. I didn't get shot, but I could have if I was in the wrong spot at the wrong time. That's what you sign up for, guys. And I'm sure none of those 85 personnel with the Air Force are going, oh, we shouldn't be going to this. Fucking. They're probably going over there going, yep, this is what we signed up for. There's 23,000 Aussies living in United Arab Emirates and a heap of Yanks and Poms. We're going over there to protect them. Once again, it's what Aussies do. We fucking help people out. And if you don't have that type of thought train, you and me ain't going to be friends, everyone. Okay? So that's where I come from. Let's do a poll, everyone. Let's do a poll. I'm big on it, eh? If we can, I don't like getting involved in wars any more than anyone else. If you can, as our elbow says, diplomacy and dialogue. Absolutely. But you can't talk to the fucking idiots in that country that starts with I with diplomacy and dialogue, because they're all fucking maniacs. They're lobbing missiles on everyone at the moment. Have a look at that. Azerbaijan, Turkey, countries that are just staying out of the shit are getting missiles lobbed on them now. So it's time that people go, enough of this shit. And if it means that we have to send some defense assets over there to protect human lives, innocent human lives, then that's what we do. That's what our fucking defense force is there for, everyone. Not just to defend Australia. We're defending Australian interests, our people living over there. So if you didn't know that, you fucking do now. Start a poll. Should the ADF If you disagree with me, I want to hear your reason, everyone. If you disagree with me and saying we shouldn't be over there getting involved in it, there was a reporter there today talking to Richard Marles, an ABC reporter, and Marles was saying that we're sending a wedge tail and missiles over there. We're not firing the missiles, everyone. I thought we might have been sending some of our artillery assets over there with the NASAMS surface to air. We're not. We're just giving missiles from America that were going to come to Australia. We're now giving them to the UAE so that because they're running out, so they can defend themselves and defend people in the UAE. And the United Arab Emirates Air Force, they're defending their own people, but they're also defending Americans, English, Australian, New Zealanders, Europeans, all the Westerners that live there. The UAE Defence Force is protecting our people as well. That's why we're working with them, okay? So 91%, why we shouldn't get involved. I think we should be. And I think our government, if we're going, oh, we're getting here. Now, do we go down the thing? Should the orange fella and, Bibi, should they have started this shit? Well, that's a totally for another subject, isn't it? Personally, I said the other day, fucking oath, you can't have these maniacs getting hold of a nuke. That cannot be an option. We let one maniac get hold of one that shouldn't have. We should have smacked him down before he got him, that little fat little prick that wears a suit. You know who I'm talking about there. He should never have got nuclear weapons, but we allowed him to do it. And now he sits back, teasing the whole fucking world. I've got nukes and I'll, just trying to hold the whole world to ransom. These other people, they're even bigger maniacs, and they hate that other country that starts with I over near the Red Sea, that long, skinny country. They will use one on them because they hate them that much. They want to see their total destruction. They're mad enough to fucking use it. And we've seen that they don't care about the other countries around that other nation that starts with I. They'll just put a nuke in there and they don't give a shit about who it affects. They don't care. We can't let them get one, everyone. We can't let them get one. Where's this thing going? Is there an end? I don't know. This is going to drag on. And I'm going on to the next thing now is the Strait of Hormuz, Hormuz, Hormuz or whatever. There's no ships getting through there at the moment. So let's hope. Apparently they've started laying mines and all that stuff in there. The Yanks are blowing up mine layers, and the Yanks are still blowing a lot of shit up over there. But at the moment, no ships are getting through the Strait of Hormuz, which means no oil's getting out. No oil's getting out of the UAE or Saudi Arabia or Oman or Qatar. All the bloody big Middle Eastern oil they can't get their oil out. The ships can't get down there because it's not safe at the moment. Let's hope they get it to a stage where it is safe enough for ships to get through there under naval escort. Now, do we send a Royal Australian Navy air warfare destroyer to escort ships through the Strait of Hormuz when it opens up? Now, here's my take on that. Fucking oath we should. Because some of that oil, that's why our fuel's going up at the moment. It's going up because they're price gouging. But when it starts really digging in and no friggin' oil, when that catches up, watch the prices go up even more when the oil doesn't get through. So we haven't got to that stage yet. It's only been gone 10 or 11 days. Okay, so all the fuel we're getting at the moment is stuff that we had in storage. Wait till it starts really biting. If that strait doesn't open up, the whole world's fucked. Okay, when our stocks start running low. So should Australia, when the time comes, send HMAS Hobart, Sydney or Brisbane, one of those, up to help escort, or an Anzac class frigate? I don't know if they're armed enough for any incoming missiles. Certainly an air warfare destroyer would be. Do we send a Royal Australian Navy ship up to escort tankers and bulk carriers and that through the Strait of Hormuz? Fucking oath we do. We're not in direct action again, but what we're doing is we're bloody helping. We're helping keeping things moving, because it's going to affect us, everyone. That strait being closed, it hasn't started biting in yet, but it fucking will. And you reckon fuel's dear now, you wait till that starts biting in. It's going to get worse. Mitchell, Queensland, $3 a litre. Tracy, that's the highest I've seen it mentioned yet. It's all been a lot of high 280s. What was it today, everyone? I put it up, 248 or something here in Innisfail. I topped up the BT today. Only took about 12 litres because I topped up the other day. The first day of the war, I went and got it for like $1.72 with 4 cents off. I think I got it for $1.68 a litre diesel, and she's up to 248 now. So yeah, I already had it full. So I thought, top up. I needed a 10-litre jerry of unleaded for the mower and the generator in case I need it. So I went and put 10 litres in a little jerry. And I thought, I've only got one jerry. I hope people don't think I'm hoarding because I've got a 10-litre jerry on me. So we're going to come on to that subject soon. And that's going to cause some shit. So well, there you go, everyone. We need our Australian Defence Force. If we need to use them, we need to use them. And it's just the fucking way it is. That's why we've got a Defence Force. If it means we need to put a ship in danger to get other ships, civilian ships, through a fucking volatile area, that's what we need to do. And if one of those bloody Hobart class destroyers goes up there, every sailor on that ship will know that this is going to be dangerous, but this is what we fucking joined up for. That's the way people in the Defence Force think. Those 85 people that are attached to that wedge-tail surveillance plane, is there a chance missiles could be lobbed on them? Maybe, but they know that that's what they signed up for. They know why they're over there, and I bet every one of them goes, we're going to go over here, we're going to make a difference. This is what we signed up for, to fucking help people out and to defend our own people who are over there. So there you go. So there's still 13% reckon we shouldn't be sending Australian Defence Force assets over there. And I've explained that they're not part of the actual offensive action against that shithead country that starts with I. They're over there in a defensive role and a surveillance role, protecting lives. And there's still 14% that think we shouldn't be sending people up there. Oh, I disagree with you, 14%, that's for sure. If anyone thinks why, well, we don't know who you are, and everyone's entitled to their opinion, everyone. If someone comes on and's got a different opinion to me or you, treat it with respect. We're not here to shoot anyone down, but you know my feelings on it. I'm ex-military, guys, and we know that, you know, East Timor was on and people were up there getting murdered and slaughtered and that. And it came to the time where someone said, enough of this shit, we need to go in and fucking get this country their independence and get the shitheads out of this country and fucking boot them back over the border into Indonesia. And that's what we did. 6 months for Inafet, and then the United Nations took over, and it was still going on in 2006. There were still uprisings and all that in there. But basically, we went in, and in 6 months' time, we fucking got most of the shitheads out of that country and fucked them off back over the border, some of them in body bags. And my unit was responsible for putting said persons in those body bags. There you go. Well, if you want to know about that story, watch the thing on YouTube called The Ghosts of Timor, Part 1 and 2. It's worth a watch, let me tell you. Poor old SAS boys fucking in the shit again for killing the baddies. You go to war, this you go over there to sort shitheads out, and then when you kill them, it's like, oh, you can't do that. Fuck off. You send the SAS boys over to do a job, they'll do it. And some. They copped a bit of flack in Afghanistan, and they did the same thing in East Timor. And, if you haven't seen that, everyone, The Ghosts of Timor. I know all about that story. I know a lot of the guys who are involved in that, and it won't be going public on here with it, but I was in that unit when that shit was going down. Anyway, enough of that. That's not why I'm on here. Righto, so we've established that, what I think about the football team, what I think about the Australian Defence Force deploying assets over to the United Arab Emirates. Fuel costs, we know they're going up. $3, where was it, in Mitchell, out in West Queensland? It's going to get worse, I think, everyone. Until that Strait of Hormuz opens up, it's going to get worse. Who's this? Tom Oliver. Tom Oliver, you diddly donk. What do you sent me? Oh, a picture of a ship. Oh, that's a bloody... that's not a destroyer. What's that, a patrol boat? Oh, that's one of the new... that's one of the new patrol boats, mate, or an offshore patrol vessel. Yeah, Tommy, 36. I'm not sure which one that is. That's a patrol boat, mate. That'd be no good over there. That'd be no. Here we go. Russell said a 4.4 magnitude earthquake 50 minutes ago in Barawa, New South Wales. Is anyone down in that area? 4.4 magnitude earthquake 50 minutes ago in Barawa. I hope I'm saying that right. I've never heard of that place. Borowa, New South Wales. Anyone down around that area that experienced the earth tremor, the earthquake 50 minutes ago? Only a small one, 4.4. I've been in a couple of tremors, everyone, and they're bloody scary. They're bloody scary when you're in them. I'd hate to be in one of those big earthquakes. That'd be horrifying. Absolutely horror. Speaking of East Timor, I was in this bloody 3-story bloody East Timorese building. I know it used to be a part of the Indonesian army or something. We were up there having an O group one day and taking notes down. The boss was having a chat with us about it. Next thing, the building started doing one of these, and we all looked at each other and went, fucking earthquake. So a big tremor, and we were in a bloody rickety old East Timorese 3-story concrete building that had been built by Dodgy Brothers, I think. And I was like, oh, what could possibly go wrong here? And then another time, I was at the prison. I was in Secure 4, I think. And it was a Tuesday afternoon. And Tuesday, I had no training on that day. It was lockdown Tuesday afternoon. So officers go away and do all their training, like first aid training, riot shield training. And I had no training on, so I was just sitting there on the computer. All of me 50 crims are locked away in their cells. Next thing, bloody building started rocking, and you hear all the prisoners going, hey, like fucking yelling out, what's going on? And anyway, after that, we did unlock at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. There was a big crack in the building. You could see outside. I thought, there's some of these skinny Murrays to be able to sneak out that crack and escape. But it was a dirty big crack in the building. It was only a fairly new units. So it was big enough to crack the building. So I've been in a couple of tremors. Imagine being in one of those bloody magnitude 9s or something in Tokyo. That would be horrifying. Absolutely horrifying. Yeah. Yeah, $2.50. The government won't take GST. Yeah, they don't look like giving any sort of fuel excise break either, do they? They on the news asking the government whether they were going to reduce the fuel excise to give us a bit of a break. Nah, fuck yous. So, yeah, I just gave them a bit of a plug, didn't I? Now I think they're a pack of arseholes again because, but you know what? The fuel at the moment isn't because the Strait of Hormuz is closed. This is price gouging. You can't tell me that the fuel companies have paid $3 a litre. Well, say they buy it for $2 and sell it for $3. You can't tell me they bought that for fuel, that we've got in our Bowsers at the moment for $2 a litre, and that they've got to charge $2.48 or $3 a litre. They would have bought it for a friggin' $1 a litre, and they're selling it for $2.48. They're price gouging at the moment. When the Strait of Hormuz being closed starts biting, then you've got to put your prices up then. But they've gone off early, and they started putting the prices up the very next day that those missiles started striking that big country. It starts with I. Okay? So that's when they started price gouging. From day one, everybody. The fuel companies are a pack of arseholes. They are fucking grubs. They're up there with the banks and who else is a pack of arseholes that rips us off? Insurance companies. Greed. Absolute greed is killing this country. Now, let's get on to the next one. Lack of self-sufficiency when it comes to fuel. Aren't we getting caught out here now? Well, we haven't really got caught out yet, but it's fucking starting, isn't it? It's starting. Apparently, there's a lot of 100% price gouge, and Pete McMurtry reckons. The affected fuel hasn't even arrived. Yeah, exactly right, Aussie. That's what I was saying, mate. The affected fuel hasn't arrived yet. Imagine what the price of it when it does arrive, how dear it's going to be. What we're seeing at the moment is just nothing but fucking price gouging. Well, that's not helping Bella Jess, panic buying. And we know from COVID, we only need, and we keep joking about it, but it was fucking serious, people hoarding toilet paper during COVID. We're our own worst enemies. Like, start fucking hoarding fuel. And I know Lynn and someone else, I put a post up on Facebook today, and I said, don't hoard fuel. And Lynn got a bit defensive and go, oh, when you live out a bloody, 40K out of town, it's an 80K round trip. That's not price gouging, Lynn. If you've got to take Jerry's into town so you don't have to do, that's not price gouging. That's not hoarding fuel, mate. That's just common sense. I'm not having a go at you people about that. Someone else who I don't know, oh, what a fucking Jerry's and all. I said, mate, if you've got a legitimate reason to be filling fuel Jerry's up, then that's fine. Don't take offense to my post. But if you're absolutely just being a shit, you know what, and you're just hoarding fuel because you're panic buying, then fucking give yourself an uppercut. If you've got a reason to be filling jerry cans up, like you live a long way out of town, blah, 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 then fucking do it. I'm not having a go at you guys about that. If there's a legitimate reason for it, do it. So is Tane on, is he? I just saw Tane's name there. I don't know if he's... Tane, g'day, Tane. I have 100% faith the ALP will remove the fuel excise tax. Okay, I hope you're right, Tane. I hope you're right. I hope they do. And if they do, it'll be 3 good things that I've said about them since they've come in. I'm all for what they did with the soccer players. I'm all for what they did with sending ADF assets over to UAE. I'm for that. And I think they should too, Tane. I think they should. But what they should be doing before they do that is they should be pulling the fuel companies on and going, listen here, you pack of assholes. We're not taking 50 cents a litre off the fuel excise or whatever just so you pricks can price gouge. Drop your fucking prices down or you're going to be slugged with $5 million fines from the ACCC. Get them bananas into you and see how you like them. That's what they should be doing. They should have been they should have been all over it as soon as those things started lobbing on that big country starting with I. The ACCC Albo should have gone, activate ACCC, fuel companies, keep an eye on them because we know they're going to go and we know they're going to price gouge. They do it every time there's an excuse to price gouge. They will do it without fail. This time, I want you to fucking hammer them. And I mean hammer them. You know what I'd do if I was the PM? I'd go, here's a message to all the fuel companies out there. Shell, BP, fucking, all the Ampol, all them. The first company I see price gouge with no reason to do so, there's never a reason to price gouge, but first one I see, I fucking shut you down and throw you out of Australia. BP, if If I see you price gouging, you're gone. I'm going to shut you down. There's plenty other fuel companies that'll take your spot. There's a message to fuel companies. You want to price gouge, you're fucking out of this country. We'll replace you. BP, we'll replace you with Shell and Ampol and Metro and all the rest of them. United, whatever. There's plenty to go around. ACCC's a fucking joke. Absolutely they are, Paulie George. They're a toothless tiger. I bet they're all sitting back getting massive wages too, and they do fucking nothing. They're there to protect us from price gouges, and they don't. We see it all the time. COVID, prices went up, fucking price gouging. As we all know, the fuel in the Bowsers at the moment isn't affected by the Strait of Hormuz. You wait till that fucking kicks in. I've said that a million times now. Get ready for it, everyone. There's no ships been down that strait, and that's where all our oil comes from, for 11 days now. When that starts kicking in, fucking look out on the prices. You'll be walking, let me tell you. You won't be afford to be able to go to bloody work. The news, yeah, Gene. Shady Gear, Gene's there. News reporting is, our fucking media doesn't help, do they? Started showing supermarket shelves with no stock, telling people that they are going to run out of fuel. I know. And our bloody media need to have a real close look at themselves too, because they don't help the situation a lot of the times. Totally agree. Tommy Oliver, don't hoard, but as all Boy Scouts, be prepared. Yeah, that's a good saying, actually, Tom. Don't hoard, but be prepared. And I do. I like to think I'm prepared. I've got a 20-litre Jerry and a 10-litre Jerry of ULP. The 20-litre was already full, everyone. That's in case, and it's preparation stuff. If we have a cyclone, because I'm in cyclone season at the moment, we have a fucking cyclone, I lose power, and I've got to use that generator to charge my batteries up, I've got fuel to do it. So I keep 30 litres of ULP will run me friggin' Jenny for quite a while. But I'm not hoarding 20 things of it. Be prepared. Absolutely be prepared, but don't hoard. That's a good saying, actually, Tom. A good news story never sells, Landy. Yeah, I know. Yeah, there's never any good news on the news anymore. It's all, they should just call it the National 9 bad news, because fucking never any good news on there. Even in the footy team always gets done. There's never any good news on the football front either, especially when you go for the Cowboys. Lack of self-sufficiency. Do we have enough fuel in reserve? The answer to that is we all know it's no, everyone. We've got about just over a month's worth of diesel. We got about 34 to 36 days of ULP. This is when it started. 32 days of diesel and about the same on aviation fuel. We got a month's worth. What happens if we go to war, if something kicks off down here in the South Pacific and the fuel can't get through to us? How's our military fight? How do our fighter planes stay in the air, our helicopters, our ships stay at sea with a month's worth of fuel? Fuck off. Now, there's a requirement that we have to have 90 days. This is an international requirement. Countries have got to have 90 days stock. Where's our other 60 days worth of fuel kept? Does anyone know? Where's our other 60 days worth? We're going to talk about barrels of oil in a minute too. 20 million barrels of oil a day go through the Strait of Hormuz. Yeah. And as I said, Brad, it hasn't kicked in yet. Wait till that kicks in. We need to get that strait opened. We need to bomb the shit out of whoever's bloody keeping it. We need to get it. And then we need military ships to escort the tankers through the strait. We need to be able to defend those ships. At the moment, apparently, they've been laying mines. We're going to have to get minesweepers in there to make sure the waterways are clear. We're going to need E7 wedge tails in the air, surveillance planes, so that we can see if any missiles are launched, drones are launched, all that type of stuff. We're going to need air warfare destroyers escorting all the ships. So if a missile does get launched from somewhere, we can shoot the bloody thing down. Yeah. What was I talking about? I got sidetracked there. Yeah, exactly right, Viper. For some reason, I don't know the full story on this, 60 days worth of our fuel reserves are held in the United States. How does that fucking work? Without going right into it, I don't know. Does anyone know why 60 days worth of fuel stocks? The reason is we don't have enough storage facilities in this country. There you go. There you fucking go. We don't have enough, and I Googled this today, we don't have enough storage facilities in this country to hold 90 days holdings. What the fuck? Why not? This is something we should have been working on 20, 30 years ago. 90 days reserves, okay. It fucking gets held here in Australia. So if we need it, we can use it. No good being in America if we can't get the shit down here. What if we're at war with another country that starts with a big C and they block the shipping lanes off and we can't get any fuel into this country? Has anyone fucking thought about that? No, obviously not. We need to get 90 days here on shore. Okay? No good being in the United States. What we do is while we store it over in the United States, one, we don't have the storage facilities here. And two, is when oil is low, apparently we buy the oil when the prices are low and we store it. That's smart, isn't it? That's smart doing that. Buy oil and store it when the prices are low. What was that, Rafa? Rafa's digging a nest in the carpet. So that makes sense, and that's fine. If we want to buy oil, we should have our fucking own. We'll go on to that in a minute. If we want to buy oil when it's cheap, yeah, absolutely do it. And store it here, import it here, and then refine it here when we need it. But we don't. Look at two refineries now, one in Brisbane and one in Geelong. Nothing on the West Coast. Closed them down. Oh, it's just... Now, let's go on to it. Should we make our own fuel in this country? Should we have more than 2 bloody refineries? The answer to that's yes. We all know it's yes. Okay? Why don't we? Why don't we, everyone? Why don't we make our own fuel? Why don't we drill our own oil? Is it because it's fucking cheaper to buy it from overseas? How often do we hear that? It's cheaper to buy shit from overseas than do it here in this country. Well, hasn't that backfired on us now? We don't have oil reserves like Venezuela or Saudi Arabia and all that, but we've got a lot of oil there. We have a lot of oil in South Australia. Most of our oil is offshore on the northwest shelf of Western Australia, everyone. We don't even have a refinery in Western Australia. Can you fucking believe that? That's where our oil off what did I just say? Off shelf, off bloody shore. Offshore oil rigs are off the Pilbara and all that up in Western Australia. We don't have a refinery in Western Australia. So that oil somehow has to get over to Geelong or Brisbane to be refined. Does that not, to you guys, does that not sound fucking retarded? Sorry if I use that word. I don't mean any offense by that. But it doesn't it? It sounds ridiculous that most of our oil is drilled offshore from Western Australia. We don't have an oil refinery over on the West Coast. It just seems bizarre to me. Now, South Australia, I wrote it down here. I Googled it today. We have got something like, under South Australia, 200 and, I don't know how they know this, but they do, 233 billion barrels of oil underneath South Australia. And it's in amongst all the shale, apparently, which is quite tricky. Can shale oil be used to make petroleum? Yes, it can. It's just a bit more technical and time-consuming and obviously money-consuming to get it out of the shale. So it's called shale oil. They reckon under South Australia, everyone, 233 billion barrels. What's that? That's times that by 100. What's that? Bloody $2 trillion worth of oil, $2.3 trillion worth of oil sitting under South Australia in the shale. But we're not tapping into it, are we? We're not using it. So we've got it there. Why don't we do it? Why don't we drill for our own oil? We've got it here and be more self-sufficient. How much, and everyone's saying this on the news, why don't we have more oil refineries, and why don't we drill for more of our own oil so that in times like this, we can tap into it? We might need to have it in full production, but have the infrastructure there so that in times like this, when there's a war going on in other parts of the world and we start getting affected by it, we go, crank it up, boys. There's something going on overseas. We're going to get affected by it. Crank it up and crank up our production. And we keep our 90-day stock. Keep it there. Never run it down lower than 90. We need that 90 days here onshore, everyone. Not 60 days of it in the United States. Unbelievable. It just sounds ridiculous. Why? And this isn't something we can fix overnight. We should have been working on this 20 years ago. And now that this war has started over there, Pauline Hanson and Bob Catter are all on the fucking bandwagon like I am tonight, going on about fuel, being self-sufficient with fuel. We've known about this. I said this ages ago on a live feed. I said, do you know we've only got a month's worth of fuel? What if a war starts out? How do we keep our defence force going with a month's worth of fuel and all the stuff that to support a war? We can't do it, everyone. We can't do it. And now all of a sudden, because it's becoming an issue, everyone's on the fucking bandwagon about it. Should have done something 20 years ago. We should have had oil fields in South Australia. Just cap them. Maybe, I don't know, I don't understand how it all works, but drill down there, get into it, get the pipes down into the shit and cap it so that if we need to fucking bring it up, we can. Okay, but that should have been done 20 years ago. It's like dams. We need to build big dams. This is something that should have happened 40 years ago. Store our water. Don't let it run out into the ocean and go to waste. We're the driest continent on Earth, besides Antarctica, that's all frozen. We're the driest continent on Earth. We got lots of water. We fucking waste it. We waste it. We don't store it, and we don't pipe it to where it's needed. We need to get it, run it down, and keep our bloody rivers running 24/7 so that our farmers can use the shit. And then our agriculture industry goes. I've been just gibbering on. I just want to catch up on some thing. What do you reckon about the, say, we'll use South Australia. I know Western Queensland. I think there's oil out there as well. Why don't we drill out there, get down into the oil, and at least just fucking cap it, but have the infrastructure there so if something goes down like a WAR, we can fucking uncap it and we've got our own supply and we don't have to rely on ships getting down here so we can keep our military going, our bloody farmers going. Farmers running, can't get diesel apparently. So that's all going to affect the price of groceries, supply and demand. It's got a snowball effect, hasn't it? It really has. Yeah, there are 23 oil platforms in Bass Strait. Yeah, well, there you go, Bella Jess. How many of them are in use? Are they all in full production? I don't know. Most of our oil, 90% of our oil, everyone, comes from the Northwest Shelf. That's what we got. But when I say 90% of it is on the Northwest Shelf, we only supply 10% of our own oil and fuel. We import 90% of our fuel from Singapore. It comes through Singapore, everyone. So when I say 90% of it's off the Northwest, that's 90% of 10%, if you know what I mean. We import 90% of our fuel. Why? How much would a litre of diesel be if it was fully produced here in Australia? If the oil came out, drilled here in Australia, transported to a processing plant, a refinery, turned into diesel, transported to the servo or the big storage tanks and then to the servo, what would we be paying? Is that why we import our fuel? Because it is cheaper than making our own because of the cost of wages, electricity, taxes, and all the other shit that goes with it. Anyone who's run a business in this country will know where I'm going with this. Is it cheaper just to buy our fuel in from someone else than try and produce our own? But even if that was yes, we still need to have the capability to make our own fuel in case of emergencies like this. We still need to be able to do it. Yeah, Brad's saying. I thought Brad might back me up. The way the unions are, it'd probably cost us $6 a litre for Aussie diesel. I don't know. Does anyone in the know there? Wouldn't it be nice to know? Bella just saying that they're going 24/7. Well, there you go. So those oil rigs in the Bass Strait are going 24/7. Our oil rigs up in the Northwest Shelf be going 24/7, and they're only producing 10% because we import 90% of our fuel. So they're only producing 10% of it. Yeah, so how much would a litre of Aussie-made diesel cost us? I'm pretty sure that someone's done the sums and goes, let's just fucking import it. It's easier. Isn't it pretty sad when that's the case? When everything in this country, that's why manufacturing, the arse has fallen out of manufacturing, everyone, because of the cost to manufacture in this country now. We've spoken about it a million times. Wages, electricity, insurances, GST, taxes, all other shit that goes onto it. It's easier to go overseas and friggin' get stuff made. Certainly cheaper to get stuff made in China and import it. That's how we got ourselves into this position. We're our own worst enemy. Carl Stefanovic, I haven't watched any of his interviews yet. I fucking don't like that bloke. You know where he lost me is when he interviewed Lydia Thorpe and he was bloody like she was the best thing since sliced bread. I thought, you piece of shit. She is nothing but a vile creature. And Carl Stefanovic was blowing wind up her ass. And I thought, you're a pathetic, weak prick. If you're sitting there, friggin' like you're laughing and carrying on like she's the greatest thing. I thought, he lost me there, Carl. He lost me. Did anyone see that interview? It was fucking sickening. I felt vomit come up into my throat. I really did. Fuel to WA comes from Singapore. Well, there you go. And we drill for the Mr. Bullet. We drill the oil over there on the Northwest Shelf. We don't even have an oil refinery on the west coast of Australia anymore, apparently. Used to be down, I'm sure there used to be one down around Mandurah somewhere. It's closed down, apparently. Why? Because everything's too friggin' expensive to keep open here. Anyone who works there wants $100,000 a year, plus all the other shit. I keep going, electricity and the cost of everything. We're fucking hopeless. We can't do anything ourselves anymore. Maybe we need a war to fucking wake us up. Hate to say it, no one wants a bloody war, but I reckon this country, we're going to the stage where we need a fucking wake-up call. And how does that come? A bloody full-on blowing bloody get involved in a stoush with someone and know what it is to do it tough again. I don't want to go to war with everyone, but we're our own worst enemies. 90% or 10%. Yeah, I know. Or was it 10% or 90%? Well, the other way around, something like that anyway. What do you reckon, guys? You agree with me or not? Am I talking shit? If I am, let me know and let me know why. I'm not an expert on all this type of stuff. I honestly think the reason we don't produce our own fuel full scale is cost. I may be wrong, but I reckon I might be right. Carl's interview with Big Chocky and Sam Bamford. Yeah, I've got to watch that one, Brad. I don't mind those two blokes, Big Chock and Sam Bamford. I don't mind them guys. I agree with a lot of the stuff they say. A lot of stuff. Sam Bamford's got to be very, very careful. He gets very, he's got to watch it. I like his thinking, but he gets, he just goes on, going on about elbow, getting pegged and all that. No need for that shit. That's just unprofessional and no one needs to hear that shit. He just needs to keep it professional. I think he'd go all right. But once again, Chocky, Sam Bamford and that, it's all good to be a fucking gobble on YouTube. You know, I do this every now and then. Most of my stuff's about camping and that, guys. This ain't my profession, getting on and having a rant about governments and all that. I do it every now and then, but it's not my bread and butter type thing like Big Chock and that, and Madison King, and she's becoming real conspiracy theorist type thing, Madison. So I fucking unsubscribed to her. But, Big Chock and Sam, just keep it real, boys. Keep it real and run for Parliament, because I think we need guys like you in there. But once again, It's all good to sit in front of a camera and gob off like I'm doing tonight, and actually getting in as a politician and making a difference. Doing that are two different things. That's all right. Being the Prime Minister and being the opposition leader, two different things. You can sit back as opposition leader and criticise the fuck out of the PM. Wait till you get into that seat and then see how you go. It can't be an easy job. It's not an easy job. I'll tell you what, I'd love to do it for a week. I'd fucking put the cat amongst the pigeons, let me tell you. Righto, so, yes, we should be more self-sufficient on fuel. We all know that. Get that fucking 60 days worth of fuel over here in Australia. Get our 90 days worth of stock here in storage in this fucking country, not in the United States. Why it's over there, once again, it'll be to do with this, to do with cost. No good sitting in America if we can't get it down here during time of war. We need to build storage facilities and fucking have 90 days holdings here in Australia. If that's the requirement, the international requirement, that countries should hold 90 days worth of fuel. Isn't it funny, eh? All this crisis going on now, fucking windmills and solar panels aren't rating a mention now, are they? The mighty saviour, solar and wind power. Fucking hell. How reliant are we still on fuel, everyone? So, yeah. You know what needs to happen? We need to run out of fucking fuel to wake them up. I hope we do. I hope we run out of fuel. I hope we run out of fuel so someone can say, told you so, you pack of arseholes, your 30 days holdings didn't cut the mustard. As soon as things come to the crunch, it didn't cut the mustard. We need 90 days here. And you had 60 days worth sitting in America. You fucking idiots. So in a way, I kind of fucking hope we do run out, because it's the only way we're going to wake up and fucking realise that we're doing it wrong. But if we do run out, how many people suffer? The farmers, emergency services, like it bring the country to our knees. But maybe that's what we need to wake our politicians up and make them fucking realise that, hey, 30 days wasn't enough. We got caught short badly. We need to get 90 days worth of holdings here, and we need to be able to get out and fucking drill, cap the oil things. So if things turn to shit, we've got the ability to up our oil, keep the Bass Strait and the Northwest Shelf going, but have our bloody oil fields out in South Australia and Western Queensland, have them there just in case. Keep the infrastructure there, get it ready to go. Kalina, you can cap fucking oil, and then when we need to tap into it, we tap into it. But we can't do that at the moment because we don't have the infrastructure in place to do it. Right, what else have I got to gibber on about? I know you guys down south have got to go to bed. Current state of the Australian Defence Force. It's not good, guys. We're not ready for war, and we really need to ramp it up. Unfortunately, it's a lot of money, isn't it? It's a lot of money, and we're getting better. We're slowly getting there. But once again, we fucking started 20 years too late. We're starting to buy long-range missiles and blah, blah, blah. We needed to start doing this 20 years ago. See where I'm going? It's a common theme here. We're fucking not ready to go. It doesn't matter what it is, our fuel storage, our defence, this and that. Everything we try to do. Was it the NAPLAM thing today, where all the kids sat down to do their NAPLAM test, I think that's the word, testing, and the fucking computer system crashed. We can't do anything right in this country anymore. We can't even run a fucking chook raffle in this country. We're useless. We need a wake-up call. We need a fucking wake-up call. And our politicians need to fucking start doing your job or get the fuck out. And back onto that Lydia piece of shit. If she gets in the next election, she's up for her 6 years, got to be up next election, ain't it? If she gets in next election, I'm going to throw my notebook in the air and fucking give up totally, everyone. I'll tell you now, if someone like that gets voted back in who contributes nothing to this country except fucking division and hate, then I'll throw my notebook in the air and I'll give up. I'll just fucking give up on this country if we start voting things like her in again and the Premier down there. Just fucking, we're our own. We keep voting them in. We're asking for it and we're getting it now. We're starting to reap what you sow. Well, we're reaping it right now, reaping it right up the arse because we keep voting in fucking duds, politicians. Are there any good ones out there? Not many. Not many. Matt Canavan's now the leader of the National Party. He's not too bad. But some polls come out. Labor's still ahead. Guess who's coming second? One Nation and LNP, the Liberals and Nationals, are fucking nowhere to be seen, guys. Next election, here's my prediction, unless something drastically changes, I think Labor's going to get in again because they're about the only party that's got some sort of fucking structure at the moment. Agree whether like them or not. At least they've still got some sort of structure there. And I think One Nation are going to be opposition, which will be good. But as I said, opposition, you just get up and bag the fuck out of everyone, but you don't actually change anything. So, and I don't think we're going to see the LNP party anywhere to be seen in the next election. Is Angus Taylor bringing it together? I don't think so. I don't think he's the answer either. I don't think they've got anyone there that can take the lead. We need a strong leader. Fucking need Tony Abbott to pull the boots back on again. At least Aussies respected Tony Abbott. He got stabbed in the back by that Turnbull piece of shit. I see Tony Abbott. He's still young enough. Pull the boots on Tony. And fucking get the team back together, mate. Sometimes you've got to come out of retirement and fucking get the team back together again. Maybe it's time for Tony. John Howard, he's too old now. Johnny's too old. We can't pull him out of retirement. He's fucking ready to go. He's ready to go, John. He must be 80 now, John, isn't he? He's a bit of an old bloody thing. He's way too old. But I think Tony Abbott's still young enough to pull the boots on, at least get the party back together again. Fucking they're in disarray, aren't they? They really are. And that's why we're in the position we are. You need a good, strong opposition, everyone, to keep the government honest. And we haven't got that at the moment. So the Vic independent leader, she is a basket case. Are you talking about HSV? You're talking about Jacinta Allen. Yeah, she's a fucking moron. Terry G, g'day, mate. Bring back Big Ears. Yeah, I didn't mind Tony. He just had trouble getting his words out. He's a bit of a bumbling. Remember how he's and all that? He just lost people like that. If you're going to be a politician, you've got to be able to get up and get your point across and sound confident. And if you don't know what you're talking about, just remember the saying, bullshit baffles brains. That was an old army saying, that one. Bullshit baffles brains. Get up there, and like I'm doing tonight, at least try and sound like you know what you're talking about. And people will fall for it. So I'm no expert on any of this stuff, everyone. I'm just the old average Joe. I'm like you guys out there. I'm a fucking camper. But I'm an Aussie, and I sit back and this is the way I think. This is the world according to Buck. I know a lot of things I said tonight you may not agree with. That's fine. That's fine. And that's why I'm always up for healthy discussion. There's plenty of gas in Canberra. It comes out of their assholes. Well said, Mr. Bull. It's the best thing you've ever said, that one. I'll pay that. That's a good one, mate. Yeah. Steve's Brewery. What about Craig Bellamy for Prime Minister? I'll tell you what, if he ran the country as good as he coached, we'd be in good shape, mate. He's a good coach, isn't he? He's a bloody very, very good coach. So he's the best in the business. Craig Bellamy, he's the best coach by far, I think. There's some good ones out there. Wayne Bennett is another one, but Craig Bellamy, very, very good coach. Here we go, Rowan. Need a young leader who has some balls enough of the dinosaurs who are out of touch with society. Yeah, we do. We need some young thrusters coming through. Someone, and you know what? I got disappointed. I thought Andrew Hastie might have been. I thought Andrew Hastie was that, and he fucking disappointed me. Army officer, he had it all going for him, and he fucking threw his man card in at the last minute. He should have just stood up against Susan Lee or Lee, whatever her name is, months ago. When I knew they were on the downhill slide when they voted her in as the LNP leader. I knew she wasn't the answer. First thing I said, I think I said it on a live feed, everyone. She'll never be Prime Minister. You need to get someone in as leader who can fucking step up to the plate and become Prime Minister of this country. Susan Lee was never that person. Andrew Hastie, until he fucking backflipped on that vote, I thought he was the answer for the LNP. I thought Andrew Hastie was the answer. A young lad, bloody bit of a thruster, new to politics, got some nous about him, served his country in the military. I thought he was the answer, and he's disappointed everyone now. And then when it got to the instead of stepping up and go, there's times where leaders, the cream has to come to the top, everyone, and leaders need to step forward. There's leaders and there's followers. And there's times when, as a leader, you need to fucking step up to the plate and go, this is my team, I'm going to fucking run it. And this is how we're going to do it, boys. And you come up with a plan and you execute. You execute that plan. And if you hit some hurdles throughout the way, so be it. You're always going to hit hurdles. But you know what? You either fucking jump over them or you work out a way to get around them. And you keep moving forward. Hastie lost his backbone. Yeah, I know, Mr. Bullet. It was disappointing, mate. I was a real Andrew Hastie fan. He lost me too, and he lost a lot of people. That vote that just happened, the Susan Lee, what was that one? Anyway, that's all old news now. But yeah, that didn't help him at all, mate. He should have fucking come out and said, this is the way we're going to do it. I'm going to lead this fucking party. And he should have gone in the party room, flipped a few fucking tables on their head and said, listen in, all you pricks, you weak-gutted pricks. I'm going to run this party, and this is how it's going to fucking work. You on board with me or not? That's what we need. We need a young thruster to get in there and start flipping tables. We need Gidgy Gorilla to go in and flip some tables and say, we're back, boys. The LNP party's back. But at the moment, Matt Canavan's quite a smart man, I think. He'll be good for the National Party, but until they get together, will him and Angus Taylor get the party back together? Let's hope so, because they're never going to challenge otherwise. Good night, Paulie. Paulie's off to bed. I know it's getting late for you guys, 9:42. What else have I got to say here? New series coming out soon, everyone. I've got a million different ways to cook pizzas in that shed. I'm going to do Friday night pizza. The cook-up may not actually happen on a Friday, but I'm going to release them on a Friday. And if the bloody weather plays ball, I'm going to do my first one this week. I've got a lot of different ways to cook pizzas. So I'm going to make my own dough, which I don't normally do. I'm going to make my own dough, and I'm going to do Paul's pizzas or something, or Friday night pizzas, and I'm going to do each, rather than just do one big clip that'll go for hours, I'm going to do all the different ways that I've got in my shed how to cook pizzas. And I've got a few in the bag. I've got a lot of ways that I can cook a pizza. Some of them will come out really good. Some of them will be an absolute disaster, you can think, but it should be good. Friday night pizzas, it's a new series coming out on my YouTube channel. Backyard cook-ups. I love doing them. Did you all enjoy me last cook-up with the Devon, the Savoys, and the fish fingers? They got a lot of comments, and that's what I love about this channel. I don't normally do this bloody rant and raving type stuff, guys. You know, my channel's normally backyard cook-ups and camping and all that. That's what I enjoy doing. But every now and then I feel like I've got to come on and have a rant. Makes me feel better. So, yeah, I hope you all enjoyed it. And there's a lot of people. Who was it? Someone sent me, I forget who it was now. I got a message the other day, and it was a photo. I opened it up, and someone said, you got me, Buck. I can't resist. And they went out and bought a roll of Fritz, which is Devon. So I don't know if they were in South Australia. It was a Fritz sausage, what else? And fish fingers, I think. And they were going to do a cook-up. And a lot of people said that just took me back to and that was what it was all about. Taking you back to your childhood when we used to cook up fish finger sandwiches and all that. Hey, got another groovy bit of gear. I'm going to do a cook-up soon. I'm going to do a toasted chicken and cheese sandwich in the microwave. Wait till you see what I've got from Kmart, everyone. A toasted sandwich in the microwave. You're probably thinking, Buck, you're full of shit. Can't be done. Wait till you see what I bought at Kmart the other day. Best toasty I've had. Well, that's a big call, isn't it? Except for the Cowboys Cafe toasties, Gidge. It was a good toasty. Anyway, what do we do, guys? What do you reckon? We'll go back. I think we made the right call on those soccer players. I don't think as Australians you can stand back and fucking not do anything. How could Albo and Tony Burke live with themselves? They had to put their hand out, and the few people, not everyone grabbed the hand, a few of them did, and I wish them all the best. To those who returned home, fuck, I hope they're okay when they get home. I hope they don't get fucking executed along with their families. Wouldn't that be horrible to see? We'll probably never know what happened to them. Isn't it sad that there's countries in the world that are like that? But there is, and there's a lot of them. As I said, we're lucky down here in Australia, and sometimes we need a fucking reality check. And it pisses me off where we're sitting down here in a safe country. Like, we got our problems, sure, but we're a fucking lucky country in a lot of ways, everyone. But when there's people there that need a hand, and we're not, and there's people there that think, fuck you, it's all about me, it pisses me off. I'm old school, guys. When there's people there that need a fucking hand, if someone's out camp or out bush, or someone's on the side of the road, they've lost a fucking tire, and they look like they need a hand, and you say, you're right, mate, do you need a hand? That's how I've always, driving down the main street the other day, coming back home, and here's a lady standing there holding her head like that, and it's a young girl that runs a coffee van here in town in the mornings. Anyway, she forgot to hook her coffee, and here's her coffee van. There's a tow vehicle, and the coffee van's underneath. She'd lost the van in the main drag Innisfail, going through the Bruce Highway. She's lost the coffee van, and I went past and went, oh fuck, she's lost a van. So anyway, and I thought, nah. I drove about 20 metres and went fucking bang, U-turn, went around, and I pulled in behind her, and I said, yeah, you lost your van? She said, yeah. And she was all flustered and everything. A young girl, runs the local coffee van, and as soon as I just pulled up, two tradies, fucking, they turned around and in they came. They were obviously on their lunch break. I said, guess boys, we need to get this back on the old trailer, and dug up a bit of bitumen up on the main street. And then these two young tradies, we got a bloody, her coffee van back on the thing. No damage done. I think it had, her wire was stuffed for her blinkers and that. I said, you're going to have to go and see an auto elect. I said, that's stuff. But I said, she's on. She said, yeah. She said, I was in a hurry to get away and I didn't bloody do it up properly on the tow ball. Once again, we've all been there, eh? Bloody double and triple check your work when you're hitching up everyone. But she didn't check her work and she lost her trailer. But anyway, that's what you do. I went past, there's a young girl who's in trouble. I'm fucking turning around to give her a hand. And so did two young tradies. That's what it's all about. That's small scale shit to what's just happened with Albo and Tony Burke. All right? You don't fucking turn your back on shit like that when you're an Australian. You put your hand out and you fucking offer to help. And I think it was the right thing to do. And I know a few of you disagree with me on that. Personally, I think he's a fucking piss poor. I'd hate to be in a gun pit with yous. All right? People are in trouble. You fucking help them out. That's what Aussies do. Don't ever forget that. And that's what we should be instilling in our kids, everyone, is the Aussie spirit. And that's what my thumbnail. Are we losing our Aussie spirit? Our Aussie spirit, was that the word I used? Just, that's how I was brought up. That's how my dad ever saw anyone with a flat tire. He'd always pull over. Or a smashed windscreen. You're right, mate. You need a hand. That's what we do. Someone's out camping and they're friggin' something's wrong and their solar panels are bad. You go over. What do you need, mate? I did it in Ayers Rock. I think I lent someone my solar panels and I gave him one of my solar panel cables. His had stuffed up or whatever, and I had a 5-meter solar panel cable because he couldn't charge up his batteries. He's in fucking out at Ayers Rock, middle of nowhere. I had a spare 5-meter solar panel cable. Here, mate. Oh, I said, no, just have it, mate. I said, have it. That's a spare one just in case. You fucking need it. I don't. Enjoy the rest of your holiday. You know, what's that cost me? $30? Whoopee-doo. That's what we do as Aussies. We get in and bloody help. Yeah, I know you, Brad. Brad's he's out of the same mould as me. I know Brad would give you the bloody shirt off his back, and that's how I was brought up, everyone. I think, if you don't have that mindset as an Aussie, you need to have a good look at yourself. And to think that we could have let those girls to fucking go, we don't care if you're getting executed when you get home. Fuck yous. Like, to not offer asylum to those girls, fucking, I would have been disgusted with our government if they didn't do that, and they did. And credit to them for doing that. To Tony Burke and Albo, credit to them. Some of them took up the offer, some of them didn't. We can't kidnap them and make them stay here. I think some of them have gone home under duress. Fucking what a shit country to live in that is. But anyway, well done to Albo and Tony Burke. I think was the Aussie thing to do. That's my belief, and I'll argue anyone with that. And as I said, being in those jobs, guys, where your life depends on the bloke to your left and right, or the girl to your left and right. And that's just the way I'll always be, and I'll take that to the grave with me. Anyway, I'll say a 5-minute farewell. I'll go back through this tomorrow and check all your comments, everyone. I always go back and watch the live feeds again. So not to watch myself, but to actually to watch the thing. So, yeah. Anyway, Gidge, I missed it. What's 98 worth, Ken? What's 98 worth in Brisbane? I know you filled the NBN diesel up today. We all know diesel pro. What's 98 worth down in Brisbane at the moment? I'm sure you all agree with me that fuel companies are a bunch of arseholes. So are insurance companies, to all the people in Bundaberg. Did anyone? I must send 235 to 245. Oh, okay, for 98. Well, that's no worse than diesel, mate. That's no worse than diesel. Yeah. Mario Bartoli and my memory's fucked. Cafe 1928. I've got to check up with them tomorrow and make sure that their cafe hasn't gone underwater in Bundaberg. If you're in the flood zones, guys, stay safe. Mike, now into the 20-minute goodbye. Yeah, exactly. Mike's got me pegged. What do you reckon, Mike? How's things over there, mate? I know someone said fuel in the United States is bullshit. Have a look at the price of this. And I thought, yeah, up your ass. That's half the price of what we're paying. So even the Yanks are up in arms. They were so much for a gallon. And when I did the conversion, I thought, yeah, it's still bloody under half the price what we're paying at the moment. But fuel's always been. And why is fuel cheap in the United States, everyone? Because they fucking pump oil. That's why. Mike, am I right on that? Because you pump your own oil. And over here, we do nothing but fucking pump nothing. Except our politicians probably pumping each other in their fucking room. Roger and Maria Bartolo. Thanks, Mark. I just had a mental midget there, mate. Roger and Maria Bartolo. Did I say Mario? Where the fuck did I get that from? Mario Bartolo. Oh, my God. Did I say Mario? How embarrassing. Roger, sorry, mate, if you see this. I'm a dead set diddly dong. Yeah, so anyway, Mike, let's hope the big orange fella can put a stop to this shit that's going. It started now. It started, and you got to finish it. You got to fucking, if you're gonna go into a pub and pick a fight, everyone, you got to fucking be ready to follow through with it. You got to be ready to take a few punches to the face. And that long, skinny country over there that starts with I, that started it, with the other big country, the shithead country that starts with I, well, they are copping a few punches. They went in and they walked into a pub and picked on someone their own size, and they're copping a few fucking blows back in the face. So see how we're going there. I think the old bloody. I'm going to say I'll get buffeted again. But you know that country that's in with the USA, they fucking threw the first punch and they're copping a few back guys and they don't like it. And as I said, seven US servicemen dead now, one a female. Terrible news, and about 150 injured. So good luck to the ADF personnel that are going into harm's way over there. And as I said, we fucking need to do it, guys. We're over there to protect Australians and Poms and Yanks and that in the United Arab Emirates. So I'm all for that. I think our government, people are going, oh, we're getting involved in the bloody. Well, we need to. There's times where you've got to fucking man up and you've got to send your defence force into harm's way. And this is one of those times to protect 23,000 Australians living in the United Arab Emirates. No, the Brits are sending ships over there. There's a lot of British expats there, and I'm sure there's a lot of Americans over there as well. Okay, the Yanks are already over there doing the best they can. They've got a third aircraft carrier going in now. I think they're bringing the bloody USS George Bush into the Mediterranean. A third one coming in. So they're ramping it up, the Yanks. The USS Gerald Ford's in the Red Sea, and the bloody Abraham Lincoln is in near the Strait of Hormuz there. It's not in there, the Gulf of Oman. So they're bringing in a third carrier. They're ramping it up, and I fucking hope they keep going hard. They've started now. They can't stop. They've got to keep going hard and fucking put a stop to these arseholes. Hopefully get a government in there and we get back to normal, okay? And we get back to normal. So that's what we're hoping for. Will it happen? Let's hope so. Let's hope so. But you've got to be on a side. You can't sit on the fence, everyone. You've got to be on a fucking side. And I think there's times where you got to realise that country, that big shithead country that starts with I, them having a nuclear weapon was not an option. Were they close to getting a nuke? Well, if you believe the news, they were. You can't have those maniacs with a nuclear weapon. It's as simple as that. It's holding the fucking whole world to ransom, then. They're a pack of arseholes. Anyway, good luck to everyone. UK has reported to have withdrawn sending its aircraft carrier. Yeah, Trumpy said he didn't need it. Said some not very nice things about Keir Starmer, didn't he? He said he's no Winston Churchill. In other words, he's a weak prick, whereas Churchill was a fucking strong man. Old Churchill. If Churchill was a 1926 prime, he would have thrown his hand back in World War II. Oh, I give up, Germany, don't bomb me. Back in those days, Churchill was staunch, wasn't he? You know, he was just hard. He wasn't going to give in to anyone. And those tough old politicians, they don't exist anymore. They're run by a lot of weak pricks. But anyway, it's now 2026, not 1939, isn't it? So, but anyway. Yes, Debbie, my renos are finished, but I've still got a whole house to paint yet. So I've just got to psych myself up to paint the rest of the house. But the carport's looking really good. It looks really good. I'm really happy with the way it's going. So my builder, I'm hopefully getting a concrete slab and a covered area. I'm going to make a big barbecue area off the other side of the shed where those palm trees are, where I do my little cook-ups, everyone. Hoping to get a barbecue area going there about mid-year when the builder's very busy. He's going to quote me up, and hopefully we can get a nice, all my barbecues and cooking gear under cover, and yeah, it'll be good. It's going to cost me a bit of money, but that's the plan anyway. Anyway, hope you're well, everyone, wherever you are. Stay safe. We're in a shit times at the moment, aren't we? But we got to bloody dig deep, look after each other, and just the way it is. Let's hope our politicians keep making the right decisions. Fucking ha. But they've made a couple of decisions recently, which I agreed with. I think we need to look at our fuel reserves. We've been caught short, and we could get fucking caught even shorter if this thing keeps going on. So we need to be more self-sufficient with a lot of stuff, not just with fuel, manufacturing, producing our own missiles, our own military equipment. We need to be more self-sufficient. The reason we're not, everyone, is the cost of everything. We need to address the cost of manufacturing in this country. Otherwise, it's never going to work. We need to fucking sort it out. And one big thing is cheap fuel and cheap electricity. That's a good start, isn't it? That's a good start. Cheapening our electricity up. Fucking, we got to open up coal-fired, start dig, baby, dig, and start fucking producing more coal-fired power stations. If that's what you got to do, that's what you got to do. Here we are worried about fucking burning coal on that, and we got fucking missiles and wars going on around there. Someone said the other day, here we are worrying about plastic straws, and we got fucking wars going on all around the world, and we're worried about drinking out of plastic straws. Get real. Let's get fucking real for 5 minutes. Okay? Let's get real. Yeah, I haven't been going to look at my superannuation. I'm not going to look at it at the moment, and I'm not going to. If you're worried about your super, It'll bounce back, guys. We'll get through this. The world will get through this, and things will recover. We always go through this shit with our superannuation, so don't get on to Q Super or whoever your Sun Super or whatever. Don't get in there at the moment and fucking drop your bundle because you've just lost so much on the stock market or in your superannuation. Don't look at it at the moment because we're in one of those ones. There's a war going on. It'll bounce back. We'll get through this. The good guys always win. We know that. The good guys always win and we'll bounce back. Just remember, this country, we're on the fucking good team with the Yanks and the Poms and the Kiwis and the Canadians. Don't ever forget that. We're on the good team here, everyone. Just remember that. Sometimes you look what's going on over there and you think, fuck, I don't agree with that. And whether this should have been started in the first place, that's up for debate. But it started now and we need to fucking finish it. Good night, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your week. See you on Sunday morning for a more positive one, eh? We'll get into the weather report. We'll talk footy and we'll talk camping and all that type of shit. If you've got something you want me to talk about on Sunday mornings in relation to camping or do some research into some new camping equipment or whatever, send me a message and we'll get into it. See you, Gedge. Give me a call, you grumpy prick. I miss talking to you. Give me a fucking ring. We'll have a chat. Get back and I like talking on the phone and talking shit. Me and Gedge, we used to get on the phone and talk shit all the time. Anyway, it's good to see you on here, mate. Anyway, good stuff. Hope you're going well down there in Brizzy. And Rob the Wanderer's on his way back over to Brisbane. I think he's been over in Perth and sounded like he really enjoyed Western Australia and having a look around West Aussie and got down to Bustleton. He was down in Bustleton the other day at the Bustleton Jetty and all that. Rob the Wanderer, down where Lauren lives. Good stuff. Steve, good night, mate. Aussie, thanks for tuning in. Lukey Reed, Blackers, Roadkill. Roadkill, thanks for tuning in tonight, mate. Tracy Lindenberg, always good to have you on. Jennifer G, hope you're doing well. Jennifer, I hope you're recovering and doing okay. Yeah, all right. Catch you again. Thanks for tuning in tonight. It was an impromptu one. Wednesday night, I just wanted to come on and have a say. We're all affected by this. It's a shit sandwich and we all got to take a bite at the moment, eh? Anyway, don't forget what I said about keeping that Aussie spirit going, guys. There's too many Aussies out there fucking worried about themselves and they aren't team players. And it pisses me off when I read some of their selfish comments. Good night, everyone. Time for a cup of tea. See you later. Enjoy the rest of your week, eh? See you Sunday morning. See ya.